It's the year of our Lord 2026, and I'm here to talk to you about a magazine. Having watched other parts of this video, I just wanted to pop in and say it kind of sounds like I'm explaining what a literary journal is. And I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. So over the past however many months, if you haven't been paying attention, you know, some things have happened in the world that many people would say they don't find ideal. One of them that is actually not on a, on the grand scheme of things, maybe not that important, but still matters, is the loss of book reviews. So the Associated Press back in the fall stopped doing their book reviews. The Washington Post recently, about a month ago, stopped doing their book reviews, and people are basically saying in the age of influencers, in the age of blah, 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 no more book reviews, they are dying, they're dead, etc. And then someone at the Literary Review of Canada sent me some copies of their magazine. It was so cool, honestly, so cool. Like, I don't know how they found me, I don't know anything. I got my name on an envelope and I got some wonderful magazines sent to me and journals. Sorry, I should call it a journal. It's a journal of ideas. And I am so grateful because this has really made my year better. I love this. Like, I can't tell you how much I love this journal. It aligns so strongly with my values of intellectual discourse and the importance of literature and art. And I think when there's so much media going on that's so loud and is so like image, video, shock, 10 seconds, to sit and read cover to cover a beautiful literary journal it's incredible. And I am doing this video to tell you about this wonderful literary review and to encourage you to subscribe to it, but not just this, because I think that there are so many countries that have these they're more academic reviews, but I really encourage you, if you live in Canada, to check this out. But wherever you live, to look for a journal like this in your context, because it's just so wonderful. It's just so wonderful. Like, how are you coping with AI? How are you coping with like the craziness? How are you coping with like a lessons in attention span? This is really helping me right now. This is really helping. It also helps that you can get articles online. I encourage you to go read some of them. I do, but I love having a physical copy. So let me tell you all about this and what this actually is. The Literary Review of Canada won Canada's Best Literary Magazine in the 2025 National Magazine Awards, and it prides itself on being a journal of ideas for more than 30 years. Here's the bit where I read them. So they are a non-profit, independent publication out of Toronto. I did a lot of research on this before I made this video because I was like, who owns you? They were originally owned by, I think it was Carleton Press, so a university press, and then they were privately purchased. And they are independent. So this is what their little blurb says. At a time when book coverage is shrinking dramatically, thank you Washington Post and AP, the Literary Review of Canada offers writers the real estate they need to thoughtfully respond to the country's vast intellectual output, everything from policy and politics to history, biography, and fiction. The magazine puts the written word front and center. In addition to reviews, its original essays and poetry provide readers with informed, engaging, and confident cultural context not found anywhere else. So as a Canadian writer and author and reader, please give me a few minutes of your time to talk about why I love this so much. So these aren't book reviews so much as they're discussions of the ideas in books. And yes, how many words is this? Maybe like 800 words, 1,000 words or so. But they do it in such a beautiful way where they're not trying to summarize the book, but basically to talk about how effective the book was, to expand on some of the ideas in it, and to kind of discuss, also not for people who don't have time, but not even for people who don't have time. Like, they're not there to summarize, they're there to expand and put in context, which I love. The articles also have extremely fun titles. I think they're great. There's in this issue. Ottawa Confidential, the private thoughts of a public figure. That's about Pierre Trudeau. Yes, obviously the same last name as Justin. How They Remembered. Bring to Heel, a Canadian evangelist in Hollywood. Very big in Sheboygan? Why We Love John Candy. And then there were 3. That's about a prize finalist. With Friends Like These, a revisionist history of Operation Overlord. That's about D-Day. Vet Check, about veterinarians. Joint Ventures, a short history of legal marijuana. iCapitalism, which is about China and the iPhone. Like, they're so clever. I love these titles. They just make you want to read them. And yes, some of them are book reviews, but then there are these beautiful essays as well. There's this gorgeous one about bird watching. And the big quote that's here is, it's so gorgeous. They represented, they being the birds, they represented the possibility that nature might recover from our assault on it. The writing in the reviews is so good. And most of the time, like when I say they're expanding on the book subject matter, they're making a personal connection. Like, look, this is the Joint Ventures one, which is about some guys who profited off of the legalization of, weed. And next one, they critique. Yes, love that. So a lot of book reviews we read are just recommendations. At least that's what I find online, which I appreciate. But this is respectful critique of something like, they didn't touch on X, or they did not hide their admiration for this person, for Linton, and at times get swept away by the man's bravado. They'll recognize things as being imperfect. Like, this is a hyperbole and sometimes scattered, but entertaining, never dull, and interesting book. This book has this flaw, but it had this great idea, and it's done so thoughtfully. Like, I loved it. Okay, number 4. I do not have time to read all these books. There is a lot of books in here, but there's a few I want to add to my TBR. Number 5, book ideas. Reading this issue had so many book ideas. It's just like, it's bringing up things that I've never thought about before, like motorcycle gangs in Quebec. I was like, whoa, motorcycle gangs in Quebec in the 80s. Like, you gotta tell me more about this. So cool. I've found it a really great place to get inspiration because it's pulling on threads that I normally wouldn't look at. Again, with algorithms and stuff, and I sound like I'm just convincing you to like read a book or a magazine, and I kind of am. Number 6, this I love because it's true Canadian culture, like real boots on the ground Canadian culture, not maple. Not that maple syrup and Mounties aren't, great, but there's so much more to a country, and I think sometimes, and you can tell me what you think, our media gets very much dominated by the biggest players, right? We have a neighbor who, writers from there love you, but it does often dominate our media and cultural landscape. In your own context, in your own local area, it's so important to know about the issues that are facing you or your even closer neighbors. Like, there was an article about the inequalities in the school system in Quebec. I didn't even know about those. You know what I mean? And so that is just, it's so helpful, and it makes me feel very connected. Like, reading about Trudeau, not this Trudeau, the other one, and René Levesque, and these things about Canada in like the 50s and 60s and 70s that we just didn't really get in history class, and in a much more interesting way. It feels like a hug of culture. I don't know. It does though, and that sounds weird, but it just feels like this. Oh, remember here. Remember where you are. Remember what's real. It's also currently, bonus points, not being censored by big media or big tech. Whoa, love that. So anyways, I am chatting about the literary review of Canada today because finding these magazines and reading them through has been a lovely part of my 2026. I'm actually, I still have my thing here. I'm actually going to subscribe my parents are going to dislike me because I'm about to go to Australia for 3 months. But you know what? It's fine. I will have some wonderful issues to look at when I get home. I'll link their website below. I think they're really, really cool. And I'm so grateful to them for sending me some copies. And so lovely, like so nice. Just world good, happy, yay. That's all I have to say. I'm just a happy reader today, and I need that. So if you do too, check it out, or the version in your own country or region. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nicole Wilbur. I'm a writer. I usually chat about and do writing videos, and you can find a lot of those below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time with a writing vlog. Bye-bye.